Hello, welcome to Mrs. Hewitt's Spelling at Home. Today it's time for your next word study session, and I have a new root morpheme for you today. So today we're going to be doing words that are related to this, divid. So in English as well, we think we've got that big root divide, okay? So we're going to be lots of words that are dividing, but this is the root that's from the Latin. It's from the Latin dividere, okay, which actually means to separate, and it was originally split with a dis, okay, and then the videre. So the dis means apart, and the videre bit is to separate, so to separate apart. So dis videre over time assimilated to the divide in English, okay, divid. So I'm going to show you the grid, and then I'm going to let you see how many words you can build. We've got quite a lot of sections today on our morpheme frame, so I'm hoping you can get some really good words, some good word sums. And then afterwards we'll talk about the meaning of some of those words, how the prefixes and suffixes contribute to that meaning, and if there's any particular spelling rules that you should have applied as you've joined those morphemes together, okay, because sometimes you have to change some letters as they join together. So when I put the frame up, you can pause your video and have a go at writing your words for today. Okay, how did you do? I haven't written loads today, okay, I've only done that many, but I'm sure you've got lots and lots. So I just wanted to explain on the grid here, you can see I have put this little e in here, okay, and it's in brackets because it's not really part of that original root, but obviously we do have that whole word divide, and when we're going to divides with that s, we do need that e in there, okay, for divides, but when we add all these other suffixes, because they will start with vowels, that e will drop, okay. So as I've just said there, we have divide plus the s for divides, so that's the verb form. She divides, I don't know, 10 by 2, bit of a mathsy one, isn't it? And think about, again, talked about fractions yesterday in terms of breaking in, being broken. Dividing is to do with separating. It's exactly what you're doing in maths, isn't it? When you divide something, you're separating it up. So we've got divided there in the past tense. Right, this one here, we've got individual, okay? Now think about that meaning there of in. We know that when in is attached as a prefix, it has the meaning of not, okay? So what we're actually saying with an individual is that it's not divisible. You can't divide it. So individual being a solitary thing, a one person, and you are an individual, or it is an individual apple, pizza, whatever, it's not for sharing. It can't be shared, can't be divided. So that's where individual comes from. It's quite interesting, isn't it? So we've got individual, undivided, so not divided. I give you my undivided attention. Nothing's going to take that away. I'm not sharing that with anybody else. We've got individually, okay, so that's the adverb there. When you should do it individually, by yourself, without sharing, without splitting yourself around with anybody else. And you can see we've got the double L there, and that's because we've got the UL there as the suffix, and then the LY for the adverb. So you do get the double L with the ally ending, okay. We've got subdivides, okay, so that's sometimes if you have one set, sub means under, so it's almost like you divide it once, you subdivide it again, a bit like subtitles. So you have your big title, you have your subtitles. Sub means kind of less or below, okay, under. And then we've got in, I think this was the longest word. I always try and get the longest one on my list. Individualized, okay? So if something was individualized, it means it's done especially for you, okay? It's an adjective to describe how something is done, because individualized would be the verb, okay? And you can see that's the only special spelling rule we've got there. So this is where we've got the I's and the ED. We don't have the double E. That assimilates, we drop that E, because we're adding another suffix that starts with a vowel. Okay, so we dropped the E. So just like the E is dropped from divide, because we've got the suffix with a vowel here, we drop this E because we're adding another suffix that starts with a vowel. So individualized with the ED on the end. Okay. Okay, so lots and lots of words that you could have got. Okay, and it's really important to remember those rules with the dropping the E when you add that suffix, because again, that's not just with this grid, that happens in lots and lots and lots of other words. This is why this is a really good way to learn how to spell, because you're learning rules that you can take into lots of other words when you build them by breaking down those words into prefixes and suffixes. Okay, so have a go at write some sentences now, and have a lovely weekend, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.